What's going on, guys? Salam, peace and blessings upon you, and welcome to episode 52 of the Thoughtful Banter podcast. I recently did a workshop about marriage at a local center, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I'm not going to share it in the exact same workshop format because it's just me by myself, but I'm going to be sharing with you guys my notes that I had in the workshop, and inshallah is beneficial for you. Thank you for listening in, and thank you to the patrons for making this possible. The average person, or I think the average conception of marriage in the Muslim community, at least for me, how it was growing up, is we look at people like products, okay? We look at people like products. We look at people like something we're going to get from the store, all right? And what I mean by that, it's like, imagine like, you're going shopping and you're looking at the specs of what it is you want to buy, whether it's like a laptop, or a camera. You're looking at the specs, you're looking at its pros, you're looking at its cons, and then you're looking at how expensive it is, okay? Now this kind of makes sense, right? Okay, you're a sister and you're looking for a husband. Oh, mashallah, this guy's 6'2". This guy's got a beard who connects. This guy's making at least, $70,000 a year. Mashallah, Great steal, great buy, right? And brothers do the same thing, right? Oh, this sister is really beautiful. She is super modest and she is good at cooking, for example, right? Mashallah, keep her, right? Now, those traits might be true. Yeah, the person's a keeper. That guy sounds awesome. That sister sounds awesome. But the inherent issue of looking at a person as a product is as follows. When we all go shopping for people, what are we all trying to do? We're all trying to get the best for the bang of our buck, right? So we're all trying to save money and we all want the best. Unfortunately, that's just not reality. You can't go around your life shopping for the best person and save all of your money. Because marriage is a two-way street. It's a give and take. You can't go around shopping for the best sister because you're not the best brother. I'm not saying don't go for the best. But I'm saying people aren't products, right? When you buy the best camera around, that camera isn't worried about who its owner is, okay? In a marriage, you can't buy people, period. Okay, this example is not literal. It's not a literal example. Do not try to cancel me about this. Think about the message I'm trying to portray here, right? When you're getting a camera, the camera doesn't care about the owner. The camera is just an inanimate object. People are not like that, right? Compatibility matters. If I'm a 6'2" guy and I'm super attractive, and let's say I'm making like $150,000 a year, honestly, I don't even have to look at it. I don't have to Google this. I'm the top 1% of men around on the globe, period. It's rare to be that tall. It's rare to make that much money. Both of those things, being relatively young, super rare. Okay? Bear with me. That brother then has basically all of the pickings when it comes to who he's going to marry. Now, another issue we will run into when we look at people as products is as follows. Products we inherently believe will solve a problem. Right? This camera will solve my problem of not being able to take pictures. If I can't sleep, right? If I have an issue with sleeping, I'm buying a mattress. Why? To solve my sleeping problem. People probably won't solve your problems unless they're very specific kinds of problems. Like there's probably a caveat to this for a couple of instances that I can't even think of, but it doesn't work like that. People don't just solve your problem. So instead of looking at people as products on shelves that we get to buy and choose from, right? And you see this model on the Tinder, on the Muzzmatch, on all these apps, the swipe. It's a model. It's a shopping center model these apps are having, right? Like you're shopping for a person, right? Instead of looking at people from that angle, instead, if you look at people in your life as puzzle pieces, this is so far the best metaphor I've been able to come up with. Life is a puzzle, okay? Your life is a puzzle. Think about that. It's a complicated puzzle. Some people's puzzles are more complicated than others, but everyone's life is a puzzle to an extent. Now, again, varying degrees of complexity. Think of a puzzle in your mind that has 1,000 pieces, a puzzle that has 100 pieces, a puzzle that has 10 pieces, okay? It can be really simple, it can get really hard, but either way, you have to put the pieces together in your own life, all right? Now, marriage is some pieces of that puzzle, all right? It is not the whole puzzle. It is not the answer to every single person's puzzle. It might be a bigger piece to someone else's puzzle than your puzzle, but no matter what, marriage is not the puzzle for everyone's life. It's not going to happen, okay? Now, I think this is super important because this goes into another avenue of questioning, which is good reasons not to get married or bad reasons not to get married, okay? A lot of people, in my personal opinion, have a ton of wrong and right ideas about this, right? So, for instance, someone might say, oh, I can't get married yet because I'm only making $40,000 a year right now. And once I'm able to make 60 or 80, I'll be able to get married. That's wrong for a couple reasons. I think one is just because Islamically, like, we are deterred from making marriage decisions based solely on wealth. Like, we believe Allah will provide for us, and there's ways to get around it. Like, you're not going to be making $40,000 a year forever, right? Like, you could work harder, you could study, get a better job, you can learn a new skill, get a better job, etc., etc., etc. So it's like a non-issue. Like, it should be kind of like a non-issue. There's very few circumstances where someone is really ever truly kept at only making that much money a year. Like, there's so many possibilities right now for making more money. It should kind of be a non-issue. Okay. But there are issues that can get in the way of marriage, and I think we overlook in our community. We make money an actual issue in our Muslim communities when it many times is honestly, in my opinion, a non-issue. But things that are an issue are things like mental health. Okay, back to the puzzle. Okay, when you're making a puzzle, what are the easiest pieces? The easiest pieces of a puzzle, whenever you're working on a puzzle with anyone, is like, hey, find the corners. Find the corners. The corners are the most important part of the puzzle. The corners to everyone's life puzzle are things like mental health, okay? Physical health, okay? Right? Spiritual health, right? Your current relationships, just like friends, family members, etc. These are like common, normal areas that you should have some kind of grasp in, usually before getting married. Okay, an example of this is if you are struggling with like severe bipolar disorder, all right, maybe you should fix that part of your puzzle before getting married. Okay, maybe if you are like suffering from manic depression, you should probably work on that first. You should get a grip on that. Like, get to a point where you and your therapist agree, hey, I'm ready for a relationship. Okay, that kind of thing. Or I'm severely obese and overweight. All I can do is walk and I'm gassed out. Like, these are simple things. These are really simple things, and these should be the focus. And lots of times, like, when someone's like, I'm not ready for marriage, it's like, no, these are things you're not ready for marriage. Like these are adulting tasks, right? And I hope this metaphor helps people out, because for one, it helps you, I think, understand what's actually an issue in your life for getting married. All right. So, like, relationships as an example. Let's say, no one's relationship, and I don't know anyone who is perfect in every area in their life, right? Relationships are hard. I'm no expert at relationships, they can be very difficult. Okay, let's say your relationship with your older sister is decent. It's not the best. Let's say you struggle with it, actually. Okay, that's understandable. Is your relationship with your brother also bad? Yeah, okay. Is your relationship with your parents also bad? Yeah, okay. Do you have good friends? No. Okay, back up. It sounds like there's a theme that you don't have good relationships with people. Do you think you're ready to get into a committed, permanent relationship like marriage? Probably not. Like, your ability to be a good child, like be a good child to your parents, being a good sibling, being a good friend, all your relationships will impact other relationships. Sometimes relationships are out of our hands. But if you're in the position where all of your relationships suck, the only common denominator, the only common factor across all those relationships are you, that probably means that you are not good at relationships. If you're someone like that, marriage probably isn't where you should be in your life in that particular time and moment, because, hey man, can you do this? You might not be good at conflict resolution. You might not have the emotional maturity and bandwidth. You should focus on like how can I be a good friend? How can I be a good child? How can I be a good sibling? How can I be nice to other people? That's not already down. Yeah, I don't think marriage is probably like where you should be focusing right now. Last point, I think. Hussein said this actually. So shout out to Hussein. Hussein said, marriage is really simple when you're good at metacognition. It's like the most Hussein thing ever. Super nerdy. What is metacognition? Metacognition is the awareness of thinking, like thinking of thinking, right? What does that mean? Like on a really simple level, that means like the difference between you all of a sudden being angry and upset. Like imagine have you ever seen your friend, 1 second they're in a good mood and you guys are having a good time, and then your friend, like a couple minutes later, it's just all of a sudden in a sour mood and they're acting like a jerk and you don't know what happened, and you can tell by looking at them that they don't even understand that they're being a jerk at that time. They're just kind of impulsively acting like that. When you're not aware of your own emotions like that, like when you're not able to realize, hey, all of a sudden I'm kind of acting like a jerk, right? I'm acting mean, I'm acting out of pocket for no reason, right? That's like a lack of metacognition. But when you're sitting there, right, and then you realize, hey, I'm honestly feeling really tense. I'm feeling really anxious. I'm feeling really upset. Oh, why is that? Oh, I'm kind of dehydrated. I haven't had a good day. I've been accumulating a lot of mental stress, where I've had a long day at work. The manager was, just doing too much. I had a lot of traffic up here. I haven't eaten lunch. Okay, I'm upset. Those are two different people, like almost. Because one person is understanding themselves and that they're upset. So what that allows you to do is like, oh, listen, I'm not angry at anyone else. I'm just angry. I need to take care of myself. I need to go get some water. Maybe go close my eyes for a second. I need some time for myself. Right? Like being in a relationship with someone like that is honestly simple. It's easy almost. Because it's like, it's just a matter of being an adult. But immature people make other people the reason why they feel any way always. Right? Does that make sense? Like imagine someone's just like, oh my God, I'm angry. It's your fault, babe. I'm sad. It's your fault. Like people need to be self-governing with their emotions. If you're not good at metacognition, you're not going to be self-governing with your emotional state. You're going to always blame the external world for how you feel. I'm sad, people's fault. I'm angry, people's fault. No, like, what about your fault? What about your responsibility? Are you able to control yourself? So these are like simple ways, like I think very simple tips for like understanding maybe if you're ready for marriage or not, finding out which areas to improve, and the perspective on how to make marriage work out. The puzzle example I think is excellent, because if we look at people like puzzle pieces, we stop going shopping for people, right? Like stop going shopping for people and looking at the best price, the best deal you can get. And instead ask yourself, hey, what puzzle do I have in my life and what pieces do I need? Right? So instead of looking at people like, oh, like who's the most attractive person I can get with, ask yourself something actually important like, hey, who am I? Right? Who am I? Oh, like I'm a relatively anxious person. For example, I'm a relatively anxious person. I'm not too good with details, right? I think I need someone who can help me be calm and help me be organized. That's really helpful. That's like really helpful, specific advice. That could really help you filter out people. You know, like then you can actually go looking around, and be like, okay, I need a sister who's like chill. You know, I need a sister who's like good with details, with time management, who can help me out with that because I'm not that kind of thing. And that sister might be someone who's like, you know what, I'm really good with time management. I'm detail oriented, but sometimes that makes me too anxious. I need someone who's extroverted and can get me out of my shell. You know, to allow me to be in the present moment and have a good time. Okay, I need a brother like that. Okay, you know, and like then you're thinking, right? Then alhamdulillah, like you find yourself in a great position where it's like you're talking to a sister and she likes you and you like her because like you can see like the puzzle pieces match, right? The puzzle pieces match. Like you could be helpful. You can bring peace to one another's lives instead of being in this position where you guys are both shopping for the hottest person, for the person who gives you the most status, for the person who makes your ego the biggest, so you can post pictures on Instagram and then, you know, all your friends are like, oh, couples goals, and then 6 months later, divorce because neither of you were adults. Both of you guys have emotional regulation issues, and it was terrible. So inshallah, you found benefit from this. I know it's like hard to listen just to me talk by myself. We'll be returning to a normal schedule soon, inshallah. Thank you for listening. If you guys have any points of contention, any points where you disagree with me, please let me know. This is episode 52 of the Thoughtful Banter podcast. I'm your host, Mahdi. Make sure to check out the Patreon. This episode is allowed because of our patrons who support this episode right now. If you actually are subscribed to our Patreon page, you will be getting exclusive content like articles and early episodes. All right. Thank you guys so much for checking this out, and I'll see you later.